Unit 16 Applications of Positive Psychology in Everyday Life 3. 16.2 Introduction. Salim has completed his engineering degree from a reputed institute and has got into a big multinational through campus placement. He has advanced quite fast in his career by devoting so much of his time and energy, and has shifted various companies also. He is now earning very good salary, and enjoying many benefits at workplace. He enjoys his work, however, of late he is feeling dissatisfied, having a sense of emptiness, and his life feels something lacking. Have you ever come across such examples of people who, despite having everything going good for them related to their work, seem unhappy in their life? This points out the significance of work to different aspects of our life. Work is not merely a means to our sustenance, but also is a means to fulfill our psychological needs and contributes to our health and well-being. This realization has resulted in the development of a new field named positive psychology in the workplace, or positive psychology at work, PPW. PPW is an umbrella term which covers application of knowledge, concepts and principles of positive psychology at work. Despite the importance of PPW, positive psychology at work did not get its due recognition until recently. For example, an article in the famous The Wall Street Journal recognized the importance of the business world's increasing attention to positivity in the workplace, which has even extended to the United States Army, as it adopted a technique for increasing soldiers' resilience. PPW studies psychological states like self-efficacy, optimism, hope, resilience, flow, and other personal resources in coping with organizational demands which can affect organizational performance. Moreover, PPW focuses on positive emotions and what makes work meaningful for us. PPW also deals with the idea of positive leadership, which would result in positive human capabilities and positive emotions. At another level, it is also interested in organizational outcomes such as employees' engagement, and the factors which affect employees' engagement. According to Ulrich, employee contribution has become a critical business issue as companies need to engage not only the body but also the mind and soul of every employee. The employees need to feel respected and valued for their contribution. This will motivate them, increase their work commitment, and lead to employee satisfaction. All these are included under the term gainful employment. It focuses on employee well-being with a comprehensive approach, taking care of the physical, personal, psychological, economic, social, and organization aspects. As indicated by Snyder et al., gainful employment is characterized by 9 features which can also be described as the benefits accruing from it. Let us now learn about certain key constructs involved in positive psychology at work. These are PSYCAP, flow, positive emotions, meaning of work, employees' engagement, and well-being. 16.3 Psychological capital, PSYCAP. Case Study 1, Sheila's story. Sheila was supposed to join one of the premier hospitality chains after the completion of her hotel management course. She was one of the top rankers and was offered the highest pay package from the BAPCH. She was very excited to join the workforce and to show her skills /talent to the world. However, COVID-19 struck the world and affected all aspects of our life /various industrial sectors, and the hospitality sector was badly affected. The organization withheld the job for her as the market was closed due to lockdown. She got frustrated, depressed, and lost hope in life. However, Sheila slowly recognized that there are millions of people around the world having the same fate as her. She decided to use the pandemic to develop new skills by joining online courses, learning dance, and the French language. It was difficult initially, but slowly she started believing in her abilities, could see the pandemic as a chance to learn new skills which were not possible earlier due to the hectic academic schedule of her course, and finally, she bounced back and got a new job with good salary and perks. How did Sheila feel when her job was withheld by the company? Identify some of her strengths that helped her to survive the pandemic and move ahead in life. The case of Sheila above highlights the importance of psychological capital, (PSYCAP), in people's lives. PSYCAP is one of the very important developments in PPW, and it comprises of self-efficacy / confidence, optimism, hope, and resiliency. PSYCAP has been formally defined as an individual's positive psychological state of development and is characterized by 1. Having confidence, self-efficacy, to take on and put in the necessary effort to succeed at challenging tasks, 2. Making a positive attribution, optimism, about succeeding now and in the future, 3. Persevering towards goals and, when necessary, redirecting paths to goals, hope, in order to succeed, and 4. When beset by problems and adversity, sustaining and bouncing back and even beyond, resiliency, to attain success. Moreover, PSYCAP has been presented as a higher-order core construct that integrates these 4 individual-level attributes not only additively but also perhaps synergistically. A substantial body of knowledge suggests that PSYCAP is positively related to performance, well-being, and other desirable outcomes. At the same time, PSYCAP is negatively related to undesirable outcomes such as stress, burnout, and counterproductive work behavior. Let us now learn about the 4 components of PSYCAP, also acronymed as HERO-A, hope. Hope is defined as a positive motivational state comprising of agency, goal-directed energy, and pathways, planning to meet goals. People who are high on hope are likely to have self-directed determination, energy, and high control over the situation, which would result in the generation of alternate pathways to reach the desired goal. Hope is related to work performance, physical and mental health, survival and coping beliefs and skills, and other desirable positive life and well-being outcomes. B. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is one's conviction about their ability to mobilize the motivation, cognitive resources, and courses of action needed to successfully perform a specific task within a given context. Self-efficacy leads to enhanced confidence, performance and employee engagement. C. Resilience. Resilience is defined as the capacity to rebound or bounce back from adversity, conflict, failure, or even positive events, progress, and increased responsibility. Thus, resilience is not only about bouncing back from the adversity but also adapting to positive and challenging events in life, for example, getting a new assignment abroad or getting promotion. Resilient people have a greater sense of reality as they are open to new experiences, are flexible to changing demands, and show more emotional stability when faced with adversity. They use adversities / failures as a springboard to reach higher ground. In the present-day context, when restructuring / downsizing / laying off is the order of the day, resilience could be an important resource for employees who can adapt effectively to constantly changing work environment. D. Optimism. Optimism is concerned with the interpretation of events / things in our lives, and therefore, optimism is defined as an attributional style and is associated with positive outcomes. However, optimism has to be balanced, realistic, and flexible. An over-optimistic explanatory will have undesirable side effects or even dangerous implications because it may lead to high risks and underestimation of potential dangers. Thus, optimism is not only about the attribution of positive events in life, but it also involves taking into account the past events, the present context, contingency planning, functioning in a disciplined manner and preventive care. People with high optimism use both cognitive and emotional resources. PCQ-24 is one of the most widely used scales to measure PSYCAP. It is a valid measure used in many countries including India. However, there is some evidence that the core of Indian self is different from the individualistic orientation of PSYCAP constructs 16.4 flow. Case Study 2, Romeo the Storyteller. Romeo is a student of literature. He likes to read real-life stories and enjoys the character's progression in the story's development. Somewhere in his heart, he knew that he liked storytelling and would want to pursue his career in script writing. Initially, he didn't know the technicalities and skills of writing. He did an online certificate course in writing. In his college fest, he eagerly took part in a writing competition. This competition was important for him. He experienced a kind of excitement and new zeal while attempting to start building his story. He was fully involved with the task and found a great sense of pleasure and curiosity in it. He was completely cut off from the outside world and fully immersed in the life of the characters he was building. He created the range and character arc of his protagonist and found himself as one with his character. He was not aware of the time passing by while writing the story. Words were flowing easily and quickly for him like a smooth stream. At that time, he didn't focus on whether he was going to win or lose the competition. He was enjoying the process of writing, and that mattered to him the most. However, somewhere in his deep heart he was sure he would win and was ready to try out something in this field even if he loses this one. After reading the section on flow, identify the mental state of Romeo. Can you identify the factors which would have paved the way for flow experience? Flow is a state of consciousness where people become immersed in an activity and enjoy it intensely. There are three essential components of flow: absorption, enjoyment, and intrinsic motivation. In the context of work, flow can be considered as a short-term peak experience that has integrated components of absorption, work enjoyment, and intrinsic work motivation. Employees in a flow state are fascinated by the tasks they perform, and the intrinsic aspects of the tasks in themselves are enough to motivate them. Flow also refers to one's intense involvement with the task, which would result in high levels of focus, confidence, and performance. Performance usually becomes automatic, as no deliberate effort is required when one is in a flow state. For example, when a batsman plays well in front of a big crowd, he is in total control of the situation and plays effortless. He is immersed in the game and enjoys every ball he plays. Flow is positively related to various indicators of job performance such as self-rated as well as other rated performance. 16.5 Meaningful work. Case Study 3, Amit's story. Does a job need to mean something? Amit, 32 years old, working in a reputed banking firm in India, is going through a crisis at work. He cannot understand his reduced sense of motivation and focus at work even though he is earning 7 figures. His manager and colleagues create a healthy and positive work environment. But he feels that his work is not making him feel empowered. It's difficult for him to explain that his salary is not a motivating factor. Why is Amit unhappy with his work? Amit's reduced enthusiasm and focus at work are due to the need for a higher purpose in life. He is going through a crisis of meaning. But why does work need to provide a higher purpose and meaning? How can this increase motivation and productivity at work? Many employees are going through a crisis of meaning at work. They need their work to serve a higher purpose in life, desire more control over work, and need growth opportunities to proclaim the joys of the role they are serving at work. Thus, employees are looking for work that provides meaning to them. Meaningfulness of work predicts positive workplace outcomes including organizational commitment, organizational citizenship behaviors, employee engagement, and job satisfaction. Meaningful work is defined as workplace characteristics that facilitate the attainment or maintenance of one or more dimensions of meaning. It is considered as a psychological need that helps to strengthen an individual's self-esteem and personal agency. Moreover, meaningful work is considered as an individual's judgment regarding their work and the value they derive from work. Aligned with this view, meaningful work helps achieve a sense of calling and enjoying benefits such as enhanced motivation, productivity, and well-being. Employees who feel their work is meaningful report greater well-being and view their work as more central and important to their self. In contrast, a lack of meaningful work has long been recognized as a primary source of alienation, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, burnout, and boredom in the organization. Thus, the absence of meaningful work can potentially undermine the person-work-organization relationship. Although research on meaningful work is relatively new, but there is a growing body of evidence that suggests that it has positive impact on human beings, not only at the individual level, but also at the organizational level. It helps employees to foster their life and work by satisfying intrinsic and basic needs for living. At the organizational level, it contributes to organizational performance, including financial performance. It also leads to job enjoyment, intrinsic motivation, job security, growth opportunities, positive self-concept, organization identification, and morale. Thus, meaningful work has numerous positive outcomes to employees and organizations. 16.6 Employee engagement. The Great Resignation during the COVID-19 pandemic. Why so? Millions of employees voluntarily quit their jobs during 2020-21 mainly due to uncertainty associated with COVID-19, and the consequent drastic changes introduced to deal with the pandemic. These drastic changes have resulted in collective burnout or exhaustion arising from prolonged emotional and mental stress. Moreover, many resigned as they look for better job opportunities that offer better pay, new challenges, and more flexibility. Many job seekers are looking for new challenges due to exhaustion and stagnancy as a result of following a similar working pattern daily, as a result of the work-from-home arrangement, and many others are looking for stable jobs. Interestingly, a survey conducted by Amazon India during September 2021 suggested that over 50% of job seekers are looking for opportunities in sectors or industries where they have little or no experience. However, the problem is much deeper. The toxic culture is mainly to be blamed for such a large-scale resignation. Toxic work culture can be found in any kind of work setting and is not conducive to employee well-being, productivity, and progression. A toxic culture is characterized by conflict, hostile interpersonal relationships, and unethical conduct. A recent study conducted at law firms showed that half of the legal workers felt that their productivity and well-being have been impacted by toxic workplace culture. Toxic work culture impacting productivity, say half of legal workers, legal cheek. The study further shows almost 2/5, 38%, of participants be less engaged with their roles as a result of their workplace culture, while a little over a fifth, 21%, had taken time off due to an incident that occurred at work. 17% reported calling in sick as a result of an incident. 29% also reported that they would quit their current role as soon as they could find a new job. The above description clearly shows that in these kinds of organizations, Employees could not feel cognitively and emotionally attached to the organization because organizations failed to win the heart and soul of their employees. Employee engagement refers to an employee's psychological investment in the organization. However, Harter et al. Felt that employee engagement is not merely psychological but it is a combination of cognitive, emotional, and behavioral attachment with the organization. According to Gallup, employees' engagement is the involvement and enthusiasm of employees in their work and workplace. Based on the Gallup Employee Engagement Survey Analysis Tool, engagement can be divided into two components, i.e., emotional and rational engagement. Emotional engagement is defined as the extent to which employees value, enjoy, and believe in their jobs, managers, teams or organizations, while rational engagement has been defined as the extent to which employees believe that managers, teams, or organizations have their self-interest in mind, financial, developmental, or professional. For Scaufley et al., employee engagement is a positive, fulfilling, work-related state of mind that is characterized by vigor, dedication, and absorption. Moreover, it is a persistent and pervasive affective cognitive state that is not focused on any specific object, event, individual, or behavior. Employee engagement helps in assessing and governing employees' perspectives on important facets of organizational culture. It helps in finding out whether employees are sincerely involved with their work or merely investing their time, whether human resource practices and team-building activities lead to positive outcomes or there is scope for improvement. According to more than 50 years of research in the area of employee engagement, Gallup reported that irrespective of the economic times, good or bad, company size, nationalities, and industry type, engaged employees are more likely to bring out better organizational outcomes than those who are not. Engaged employees are like to bring their mind, heart, and soul to the organization. A positive correlation is generally found between employee engagement and organizational performance. Harter et al. Reported a positive correlation of employee engagement with customer satisfaction, R equals 0.33, as well as with employee profit, R equals 0.17. Xanthopoulos et al. Also found that employee engagement has a positive effect on the financial performance of the organization. Singh and Sanjeev found 5 factors as predictors of employees' engagement in India. They are encouragement and meaningful task, recognition and support, motivation and cooperation, feedback and corporate annual reports. 16.7 Well-being. Case Study 4, Rita and Shwetha, 2 Perspective on Happiness / Well-being. Rita, a college student, got a notification tune from her smartphone and couldn't resist checking it. To her surprise, it was an Amazon lottery ticket which she applied for a few days back by playing a simple quiz game. A few moments later, she got a call from Amazon and was told that she was the winner of the 20,000 cash prize, which would get transferred to her bank account in 24 hours. She got super excited to know this and informed her friends. She thought that she could spend this money as she wanted and even do lots of shopping for her upcoming farewell party. Moreover, she invited all her friends to a party to celebrate her lottery win. She was feeling elated and on top of the world. Rita's friend Shwetha also got excited to join Rita's party. It was indeed a lavish party and all of them had fun. However, Shwetha also felt that the party could have been slightly low-key. She thought how much happiness the party would give and for long can one remain happy with the pizza party. She also felt that some of the money could have been given to Rita's maid, who lost her husband because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so that she could pay the school fee for her daughter. It also made her sad and dejected. Shweta decided to help them. First of all, she started home tutoring the girl and some other poor kids from her neighborhood. She also managed to get help from one of the NGOs to buy smartphones for the kids to attend online classes and lectures. It was difficult initially, but Shweta did it. The process of helping the poor kids and managing to get them smartphones made her happy. Can you compare the idea of happiness of Rita with that of Shweta? Happiness is frequently used interchangeably with well-being. For example, happiness is usually equated with hedonia, experiencing pleasure and avoiding pain, and well-being is considered a broader phenomenon involving affective, cognitive, and behavioral components. In the present context, both concepts are used interchangeably for a simpler understanding. There are at least three conceptualizations of well-being: hedonic, eudaimonic, and social framework. The hedonic framework is based on positive affect / negative affect and life satisfaction constructs. According to the hedonic framework, happiness is cognitive, how satisfied one is from life, and affective, positive affect versus negative affect, evaluation of one's life. The eudaimonic framework emphasizes optimal functioning and is measured in terms of self-acceptance, purpose in life, environmental mastery, positive relationships, personal growth, and autonomy. Many researchers / psychologists have recommended using both the hedonic and eudaimonic approaches. Henderson and Knight also found that a life rich in both pursuits was associated with a greater degree of well-being. Waterman insists that both types of well-being are important and should be measured. The socio-cultural context also needs to be considered while conceptualizing happiness. Social well-being is the third kind of well-being that includes social coherence, social acceptance, social actualization, social contribution, and social integration. It reflects how we are functioning with others and how well we are contributing to the social realm of society. There is no denying the fact that generic well-being, hedonic, eudaimonic, and social well-being, is an important concept. However, Degenedis Murray and Savoy felt that generic well-being measures may not tap the complexities of the contemporary organizations and would create difficulties in explaining organizational outcomes such as performance, absenteeism and turnover. Organizational context is characterized by management processes, organizational cultures, and organizational systems which are unique to the organizations and different from other life domains such as friends and family. The work context constitutes an important life domain wherein one adapts to a complex set of relationships, responsibilities, and expectations, and is evaluated and rewarded, or sanctioned, by others. Price Jones has presented a model of happiness at work based on her 5-year extensive study. In this model, happiness at work is defined as a mindset that allows an individual to maximize performance and achieve potential while encompassing job satisfaction and engagement. This model has put the employee at the center, in terms of his / her achievement potential, thus emphasizing the power an individual has over his / her level of happiness. There are 5 Cs placed around this center, and these are contribution, constructive and productive effort, conviction, motivation, efficiency, and resilience, along with a positive perception of job importance, culture, norms, values, and behavior of an organization, commitment, an interacting set of feelings and beliefs, and confidence, self-control, high levels of self-belief, a clear understanding of role. The outer circle is conceptualized with pride, trust, and recognition. While pride and trust are the individual's contributions to the organization, recognition is an organizational level construct that is a kind of exchange for a job well done by the employee. Price-Jones has provided comprehensive and research-based evidence for the utility of workplace happiness. Employee well-being is a crucial factor in an organization's performance and success, and it has implications for health, work behavior, job satisfaction, and burnout. Moreover, individuals with higher levels of well-being are more cooperative, have more satisfying relationships, stronger immune systems, fewer sleep problems, greater self-control, better self-regulation and coping abilities. There are many individual, group, managerial and organizational levels factors that are strongly related to employee well-being. Therefore, the organization needs to leverage employees' well-being by devising organizational policies and practices which would lead to well-being at work. 14.8 Positive Psychology Interventions at Work. Positive Psychology Interventions at Work, PPIs at work, are interventions that explicitly apply the theory and scholarship of positive work and organization psychologies to guide, plan, design, and forward/or implement the interventions to improve personal as well as organizational level outcomes. Donaldson, Lee, and Donaldson in a meta-analytic review of 22 research articles found that PPIs at work had a small to moderate effect on desirable, for example, job well-being, and undesirable work outcomes, for example, job stress. They also found that PPIs at work significantly improved well-being, engagement, and other important work outcomes, i.e., leader-member exchange, organization-based self-esteem, workplace trust, forgiveness, pro-social behavior, leadership, and calling. Thus the PPIs focus on the strengths that employees have, increasing the sense of engagement and employee satisfaction. It underlies a strengths-based approach to work where the focus is on building on the assets of the employees rather than trying to change their weaknesses. The strengths-based approach involves three aspects: a. Identifying the talents of employees and increasing their awareness about these, b. Integrating these talents into the self-image of the employee, and c. Implementing behavioral change where the employees use their talents to achieve success. Various positive psychology interventions using the strengths of employees can be described in the following categories. 1. Psychological capital interventions. As discussed in the earlier section, PSYCAP is the synergistic combination of hope, self-efficacy, resilience, and optimism, indicated by the acronym HERO. PSYCAP resources are malleable, open to development, and integral to human resource practices. PSYCAP interventions are associated with a variety of work outcomes, including improved job performance, engagement, and organizational citizenship behaviors. Not only physical intervention, but even web-based interventions can also develop for PSYCAP resources. 2. Job crafting interventions. Job crafting is a proactive process at work in which employees can redesign their jobs so that they have some control over their work. Job crafting will help employees to have an optimal fit between job demands and personal resources such as personal needs, abilities, and strengths. Job crafting interventions have been found to improve performance, well-being, and work engagement. 3. Employee strengths interventions. Character strengths are natural strengths of human being, can be defined as trait-like, measurable qualities that manifest in ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Employees' strengths interventions apply the theory of character strengths to the identification, development, and use of strengths for employees. Values in action, via inventory, was created by Peterson and Seligman that can be used to identify and describe the optimal human character strengths. Mackey's research has shown that strengths interventions can be useful for improving the well-being and leadership of employees. Overall, strengths interventions for desirable work outcomes were shown to have stronger effects than other interventions. 4. Employee gratitude interventions. Gratitude in the workplace is noticing and appreciating the positive in one's work life specifically and not in the generic world. Therefore, employee gratitude interventions are activities that aim to increase the practice of gratitude in the workplace. Researchers have used both paper-pencil and web-based gratitude interventions at work. Wood et al. Felt that gratitude interventions are a robust strategy for improving employee job well-being. The effect of gratitude interventions for desirable work outcomes was found to be strongest as compared to other interventions such as psychological capital interventions or job crafting or well-being interventions. 5. Employee well-being interventions. Employee well-being involves both generic well-being and work-specific well-being as discussed. In the context of work, Seligman's well-being theory known as PERMA, i.e., positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment, has been used widely. Employee well-being interventions have been shown to reduce employee absenteeism and turnover intentions, as well as improve job satisfaction. 14.9 Let us sum up. In this unit, you have learned some of the key concepts of positive psychology in the workplace. You also learned about positive psychology interventions at work which focus on training and intervention. Let us just briefly recall the main points. PSYCAP. PSYCAP is the synergistic combination of self-efficacy, hope, optimism, and resilience. PSYCAP resources are malleable, open to development, and integral to human resource practices in organizations. PSYCAP is positively related to performance, well-being, and other desirable outcomes. At the same time, PSYCAP is negatively related to undesirable outcomes such as stress, burnout, and counterproductive work behavior. PSYCAP is best measured by PCQ-24, which is valid in many parts of the world including India. Flow in the context of work is a short-term peak experience comprising absorption, work enjoyment, and intrinsic work motivation. Employees in a flow state are fascinated by the tasks they perform, and the intrinsic aspects of the tasks in themselves are enough to motivate them. Meaningful work. Meaningful work is defined as workplace characteristics that facilitate the attainment or maintenance of one or more dimensions of meaning. Meaningful work is considered as an individual's judgment regarding their work and the value they derive from work. Employees who feel their work as meaningful report greater well-being and view their work as more central and important to their actual selves. On the other hand, a lack of meaningful work is a source of alienation, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, burnout, and boredom in the organization. Meaningfulness of work predicts positive workplace outcomes including organizational commitment, organizational citizenship behaviors, employee engagement, and job satisfaction. Employee engagement. Employee engagement is a combination of cognitive, emotional, and behavioral attachment with the organization. It is the involvement and enthusiasm of employees in their work and workplace. Well-being at work. Well-being is considered a broader phenomenon involving affective, cognitive, and behavioral components. Well-being can be generic as well as work-related. Generic well-being measures may not tap the complexities of the contemporary organizations and would create difficulties in explaining organizational outcomes such as performance, absenteeism, and turnover. Positive psychology interventions at work. Positive psychology interventions at work, PPIs at work, are interventions that explicitly apply the theory and scholarship of positive work and organization psychologies to guide, plan, design, and / or implement the interventions to improve personal as well as organizational level outcomes. Broadly, PPIs at work can be grouped into 5 categories: PSYCAP interventions, job crafting interventions, employees' strength interventions, employees' gratitude interventions, and finally employees' well-being interventions.